Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. So we're gonna do today your month ahead, but not the matrix month, but the actual lunar month. So February 17th, we started New Year, we started Year of Fire Horse, and it was a beautiful new moon that started what we call month of warm month. This is the first month of the year and the last month of winter, preparing us for spring, for full-on rebirth, for that equinox energy, right? So the energies of this month are usually, this is where we balance. This is where we really plant the seed. We've been shedding, we've been removing, we've been decluttering, we've been cleansing, we've been dying, right? And now it's time to take all those seeds that we've been preparing. I know what I want. I know what's my dharma, right? And put it in a soil and allow it to prepare for the spring that will sort of be the growth and blooming month. So what I want to do is we're going to start from tapping into your energy, so you know that this is your session. I may do the same session for a couple more collectives in the next days. And then once we figure out your energy, we're gonna tap into the guidance. So what this month will bring for you, and what is it that your guides want you to focus on, to really balance still, to really, those seeds. What are those seeds? All right, so let's start from, what's your energy? How are you feeling? Whoop, that was fast. Authenticity, that is very nice. That is what we've been really fighting for in the last year generically, but especially in the last months. I've been talking about this so much that we are being invited this year. Sorry, deviation, but it came to my mind. Maybe you really are into these things. Maybe you do realize that we're in a very powerful year, not just because it's the year of the fire horse, but it's the beginning of a new cycle, new 9-year cycle. It's a whole new age that we're entering. It's a timeline split for 2026 that we're really starting to build physically, that new earth. And all that energy of alignment, of dharma, of new earth is based on authenticity, is based on, we don't want no more illusions of people, fakeness, matrix, filters, performance. We just want raw authenticity. We just want raw truth. So maybe you've been trying to find your authentic self. Maybe you've been trying to tap into your truth and your authenticity, who I am, unapologetically. We have logic as well. Let me do your whole spread. Whoop. That's very nice. That's very nice. One more. That's very nice. You would be feeling really good. You would be feeling very uplifted, very like, let's do this. You would be feeling the energies of this competitiveness. You would be feeling the energies of this first week. I've talked about it on my stories. I think I posted this video on my Instagram as well, if you've missed it, about the energies of this week specifically. It is the first week of the new year. And I find that people may sort of feel into those first weeks a little bit different. Some of us will already feel, yes, this is it's here, it's new year, right? It's new energy, it's new cycle. And some of us may still feel like, this is the moment when we are being born, right? We've been dying, we've been shedding, we've been releasing, and now it's time to introduce the new you into the world, to actually get out of that womb of the cosmic womb, energetic womb that we've been sitting in, that waiting room, right? And sometimes, as we know, giving birth can be quite painful for the child as well. So you may feel like you're being like literally, there's still maybe a bit of emotion, but it's already different. It's already like this energetically in accompanied by energies of spring. So we have very beautiful energy for you. We have authenticity. We have honesty in the center of your spread. So you would be feeling like, again, authenticity, honesty, they come together. I want to read this card to you. Maybe there's some messages for you. Number 10, completion. Honesty is a natural byproduct of connecting to our inner truth, to our heart space. When we know who we are, we understand our truth and our mission in this world. We effortlessly express ourselves with integrity. There is a deep inner alignment between who we are and what we think and feel and what we say and do. Honesty brings us deep sense of inner peace. Knowing that our actions and words are aligned with our authentic self creates a sense of stability and security within. That is the ultimate truth. This is how we create really the stability and security within through our masculine energy. It's the honesty that is so important for the masculine energy, not just masculine as men, but your inner masculine. We all have masculine and feminine. So if you feel unsafe, if you feel ungrounded, if you feel that you don't have foundation and stability with life, when you start embodying honesty, which means that your actions are aligned with your authentic self that you've discovered, what you think is in alignment with what you feel, what you say is in alignment with what you do, you create that sense of stability, not just for yourself, but people around you in reality. When we are wounded, we can confuse projection and lack of compassion with honesty. Are you being honest, or are you speaking out harsh and unnecessary judgments? Make sure that you are calling honesty what is in line with your values and internal truth and is always wrapped in kindness. I don't think you're out of balance for this specific emotion. It just explains that, some people, they call themselves honest, but they just really projecting harsh triggers that are sitting within themselves. When honesty, true honesty, as the card explained, is just a raw expression of your authentic self, of your inner truth, right? Living in alignment with that truth. You have soul as well, which is the first card in the deck. Very beautiful card. It's the only one that has two different words on top and on the bottom. It's the soul and it's magic, because magic starts to happen in our life when we start to embody the frequency of our soul. We do that through authenticity. We remove the layers of shadows, of conditioning, of fears, of traumas, and we feel into what is our soul, who is our soul. So maybe you have been really working on finding out whether you use the same terminology or not. It's all just labels, and I highlight this to you guys always. But it feels like you have been in this period of time when you've been saying to yourself, I want to be more me. I don't want to be quiet anymore. I don't want to pretend anymore. I want to be more authentic. I don't care if certain people will, fall away from me. Certain people will disappear, or certain people will call me crazy. Maybe you understood that this is how we actually call in our tribe, by being authentic, by being truthful, because our soul family are souls that actually vibrate on a very similar frequency, right? So very beautiful. We have two shadows here. One is logic, number 55. So maybe you have been struggling recently a little bit with that logical mind, with that lizard brain, with we are conditioned to think that mind is superior to the heart, that we're supposed to find logic and reason for everything, because if there's no tangible proof, things are just not right. So it's a very big fat blockage for many people on the journey of awakening, on the journey of self-discovery, to understand, that infamous statement, I believe it's from Bhagavad Gita, that says that mind is a wonderful servant, but a horrible master. And this is the whole point of a journey of awakening. We need to understand that our mind is part of our physical body, our physical mortal part of our existence, and it exists to serve us on a journey of life, on a journey of self-discovery, serve our immortal, eternal soul that lives in the heart, right? So we have to listen to the heart, listen to the intuition, and that is actually the way to go. But maybe you still have a little bit blockages, around that. Maybe you still sometimes, find yourself overthinking. And we have competitiveness. I feel like competitiveness, it's funny because you have authenticity and you have competitiveness. I highlight to you guys often that what really kills off our authentic selves, and this is unfortunately how this, especially in recent decades, is programmed to really remove collaboration and introduce competitiveness. This is why they try to divide us. This is why they turn us against each other. It's really bright here. Hold on. It's better. This is why they try to turn us against each other. This is why patriarchy created sister wound within women, so we don't collaborate together. This is why we introduce so many competition. The Matrix introduces it. They're trying to put us all in the same mold, make us all same, and then compete with each other, right? It's the even in the beauty industry, especially for the feminists, it's like we're supposed to look same, right? So now there's this fashion to have flat bellies and big lips and whatever, right? And if you look differently, you just are being pushed to compete, to change yourself, to hate yourself, to shame yourself, and it completely kills off authenticity, because by default, authenticity, we all have very unique frequency. Yes, we go for same wounds, for same stories. We're one supreme consciousness. We're all interconnected. We're part of a whole. But the illusion of separation for a soul to live this human life is created to actually have a very unique frequency. We all have unique frequencies. We all have something that no one else is able to offer to this world. And through this competitiveness, so maybe you've been thinking about this. I'm sensing, what I'm hearing is that for this specific, for you specifically, things that I'm saying may be a little bit too spiritual, if I can say it that way, but maybe it's also meant for you to understand what you're thinking on a deeper level, on a more of a soul level. I think like you've been maybe thinking more about exactly what I said. Why are we being told that we all have to live in a city, that we all have to have IKEA furniture, that we all have to make our lips bigger, that we all have to be skinny, that we all have to go to the gym? There's nothing that we have to do, but this is exactly what they're doing. This is how they're putting us in the prison of our own minds, to divert our focus from our inner world, from truth, from authenticity, from our dharmic paths, and be servants to the system, to give all our energy to the system. So I know I'm going a little bit, deep and a little bit like conspiracy theory, but maybe those are thoughts that you've been recently having. I kind of want to do one more row. Authenticity. Low vibration. Yeah, so I feel like you're realizing. That authenticity is actually what raises our vibration, being who we are, being true to ourselves, not just being that, how you call them, like, you just follow without thinking. You hear something in the news and now you believe that and you just follow, what everyone is talking about, and it actually lowers our vibration. It actually keeps us prisoners of the lower frequencies and the blockages of the lower chakras. It's not allowing us to raise our consciousness to the level of the heart. So maybe you've been trying to raise your vibration. Maybe you've been reading and hearing and investigating how you can raise your vibration. It's something that we talk about here on this channel a lot. I've done a video about this. If you're interested, if you go to my YouTube, I think it's easier because it was a couple of weeks ago, and because I post daily, TikTok, it's like you could struggle. But if you go to my YouTube, and there's a spirituality and healing playlist, and on that playlist, one of the last videos will be high vibration, how to raise your vibration, something like that. Yeah, we have connection and wholeness. Connection and wholeness. So you are someone that you would be thinking a lot right now about how we're being disconnected, how we're being put in the same mold, how we're being, taught to compete with each other, who is better, who is worse, who is prettier, right? Instead of just connecting, understanding that we're part of with a bigger thing, with something bigger. It's What's going on? Something bigger. Very nice. 2 more. One more. All right. All right. We have hopeless and powerless at the bottom of the deck. Number 73. Maybe that's an important number. Hopeless on top of that, paired with that soul. Maybe, you had moments. Sometimes, it happens and it's given to this journey of awakening and spirituality. When they are helping us, our guides, to understand certain concepts, our mind is awakening to certain truths of life, certain illusions of this life. Sometimes because we operate in our mind, because we don't know how to process things from our heart, we're not taught from childhood in this world. We're always told, think, right? Like, think. If you want to be better, think. Even like to children, we say the think. Now we're starting to switch that now, especially in spiritual community, because overall, it's coming to my mind, overall, I always say to you guys, and it's true, it's just semantics, it's just words, it's just labels. We cannot yet communicate fully through telepathy, for energy. And yes, there are people who are energy readers and they're very receptive to these things. But the communication back and forth, one of the ways we do that is speech, and speech is very powerful. Words are spells. They create energy. So on one hand, I always say, detach from labels, detach from words, because these are just, definitions that are created by humans, and we need them when we talk, because I cannot over-explain every certain concepts to you. So I use labels: high vibration, low vibration, soulmate, dharma, right? And sometimes it creates space for misconception, because there may be people who understand these labels differently. But it's like, yes, they just labels, but also they carry weight, they carry energy. Like I said, words are spells. So we need to start consciously reprogramming ourselves to change how we speak, right? So one of the biggest examples that is out there in spiritual community, and I highlight this to you guys as well often, is when you're feeling a little bit down, right? Instead of saying I'm sick, because you literally spells, you're bringing it into existence, to say my body's healing, my body needs rest, right? And similarly, when we are taught to say think, you have to think, I have to think about it, right? Now we're starting to switch into feel. I have to feel into it, right? I have to, let's feel it. Let me feel into it. Let me tap into it a little bit more, which is beautiful, because again, everything in life is balanced. We cannot go overboard. We cannot get crazy and start being obsessive. And sometimes I find that people can bring it a little bit overboard, right? They start to go around certain concepts, God to forbid to speak certain words out loud. I feel like it's a little bit too much, but I feel like we have to change that autopilot for certain terms that we use. To adjust it more to new earth, to our new ways of being. So maybe why I started saying this about this hopelessness, when they bring certain things to our mind, when we feel into certain things, certain concepts, when we awaken, we start to contemplate on ourselves and the meaning of life, on this world, and on humanity, right? We can get quite, it's a maze. Our mind, it's a maze. We can get quite hopeless. What do I do with this now? And this is why it's very important on this journey to feel into things instead of thinking, right? Whether you do it through meditation, or whether you just go for a run, or you exercise, you move your body, whatever your method is, to try to just, when something is happening, to just not engage in the process of thinking, but just observe your thoughts and feel into them, feel into the energy of what's going on. And we have fulfillment, which is a very beautiful card to close your spread. So that's on top of that competitiveness. I feel like you've been just realizing that in order to reach authenticity, fulfillment, raise your vibration, be happy, we have to really remove the prison, break the prison of the mind, break free from the prison of the mind, and also remove this competitiveness, because this competitiveness creates separation. And it's something that is sadly, we're feeding our children with competitiveness, especially in some cultures and in Western cultures, right? And in some countries, we're teaching our children this nonsense that through competition we get better because other people motivate us. That's not how it's supposed to work. We're supposed to be collaborating, accepting our authenticity. It just came to my mind, maybe it's a detail for some of you. Maybe you actually have a child, and maybe you actually live one of those countries that that promote this nonsense, and maybe you've been recently at some sort of a game or in some sort of a school, and they started saying that they really believe in competition because of competition kids are better and it feeds their ambition. It's just a detail, it came to my mind, so it may be, I feel like I need to address this. Hold on. I feel like the sun was distracting us, but it's still here a little bit, but that's all right. We love the sun. All right, let's tap into your energy. Don't know what happened here. Okay, let's tap into your energy. And then we're going to do your month ahead. What's your energy? Show yourself to me. What's your energy? That is beautiful. High Priestess. You had authenticity as your first card. Now your first card is High Priestess. You would be going for some sort of a awakening, for some sort of a... Okay, we have the Emperor. We've talked about this stability as well. Security. Okay, let's do a few more and then we'll talk. 2 more. Okay, let's see what we have in here. That is very beautiful. You have a very beautiful spread, very powerful. Center of your King of Cups at the bottom. Center of your spread is the Strength. Your first 3 cards are Power. This is Fire Horse. This is Fire Horse. Our Power. Our power, exactly Fire Horse. So not power that just comes from strength and masculine power, but that comes from the intuition, from the feminine ignition, from it's Fire Horse. It's both masculine and feminine. It's yin and yang. It's the completeness of the life force within us, right? Very beautiful energy. You would be sitting in a very important moment of your life. I feel like this month is going to be very powerful because your first row, 4 out of 5 cards are major arcanas. So pivotal moment, and very beautiful major arcanas. I feel like you are going through some sort of a awakening. Certain things are being brought to your conscious mind. Maybe you're connecting more to what we call soul, truth of life. Again, there is something within me that is saying that either you, this collective, are new at this when we talk about spirituality, or you were familiar with spirituality because it's out there, but what is out there as well is a lot of shallow level spirituality, new age, BS, nonsense, charlatans, right? So maybe you now are actually understanding what true spirituality is about. It's not just about yoga, sage, spiritual practices, and big phrases, but it's actually about facing your shadows and living a life that is full of spirit, right? That is led by your own spirit and connected to the great spirit, right? It's not about anything external. It's not about any physical. It's about embodiment. I feel there is some sort of a new beginning, new awakening, new spark, new ignition within you. I feel that a lot of things that were automated in your subconscious mind, they're being brought to your conscious mind. They're being brought to your attention. Maybe you're being awakened and guided to start some sort of a deeper healing, actual healing, again, not just that new age BS. So people who think that You know, they can go to a charlatan tarot lady once a year that thinks that tarot is about predicting the future. It's nothing but that. I have a pinned video about tarot on my TikTok if you're interested. Tarot is a very sacred, ancestral, beautiful tool that should be used only by awakened channels who are linked through their lineage to that tool, and is meant to help you to reach alignment. It's meant to, sorry, I got distracted. It's meant to help you reach alignment. It's meant to help you tap into the energies of now, to make better choices for yourself, to actually design your future. Future is not predetermined. There is no predetermined future, right? And I don't care what anyone says. If you go to it, maybe you had some experience with that. There's a reason I'm mentioning that. If you go to a tarot lady, okay, and she says nothing about you, how you have to change, how you have to shift, right? That inner work, that shadow work, the true messages from the divine. And she only focuses on what's going to happen to you in the next 5-10 years or the whole life, without explaining to you how it actually works. She's a charlatan, either deliberately that wants your money, or she actually has some gifts, but she, you know, she's not aware of how it's supposed to look like. Future is not predetermined. There are infinite amounts of timelines in the quantum field. Some of them are materialized, some of them are not materialized. Again, I've done many videos about this, and through daily choices, we dematerialize certain lifetimes and we materialize and pull in other lifetimes. Yes, we all have highest, most aligned timeline, and a tarot reader can tap into your highest, most aligned timeline, your most dharmic destined life. But whether it's going to happen or not, it's on you, right? So maybe you're realizing how much misconception is out there, how many people they don't even know what they're doing, whether it's conscious or subconscious. That spirituality, it's actually so much deeper that most people talk about. And I've recently posted, maybe that's something as well, because it's coming to my mind. I posted a couple of sentences that I've downloaded and then I've channeled on my Instagram about what we need to change moving towards New Earth, right? That success, and there was a vision of success, that success isn't about volume. So maybe you're recently understanding that. Maybe in the past you were this person that, you know, you wanted your kids to go to the school that has the biggest rating, or you wanted to go to a restaurant that has most amount of stars, or you wanted to go to a spiritual teacher who has the biggest amount of followers. And now you're realizing that it's not the case. Things that are usually the most popular, I mean, if you think about this, if you look at the quality of this world, where most people are in deep denial and deep darkness, things that actually go deeper, things that actually talk about things that are this true spirituality, which is raw heart shadow work. It's facing our shadows, it's removing the duality, is understanding that life is neutral. It's really connecting to source, to God. That's not going to be ever very, very popular. Those are not going to be accounts that have, you know, millions of and tens of millions of followers and views, because it's literally impossible. Most people don't resonate with the actual truth just yet, but there's more and more, which is very, very beautiful. Just a divination, it came to my mind. So, but again, I feel like you would be gaining your strength, you would be bringing certain things into your conscious mind. There's something about this stability. We've also mentioned this before. I feel like you want to build more security and stability in your life, but not in this distorted way. So you wouldn't be thinking about money, finances, investments. I'm feeling more into this actual masculine stability. So you're thinking how I can feel more safe in life, so I don't do reckless things, so I don't live in fear, how I can connect more maybe to the wholeness of the universe, the Mother Earth. It's this sort of a root chakra balancing that I'm feeling into, that you want to create a better foundation energetically, spiritually, for your future life, to take better choices. Beautiful. Let's do another row. Okay. Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Very, very beautiful. I'm looking at the owl, so maybe you've been seeing a lot of owls recently, or maybe you like owls, or we have a Tower moment. Tower and a Devil. When they come in together, we have the Sun as well. I feel, again, highest most aligned timeline. I feel there is some sort of awakening happening within you. I feel like it's, awakening of the mind. So it's this moment in life when we switch from physical karma to spiritual karma, which is karma dharma. I talk about this a lot, and I have lots of videos around that topic as well. You can check them out. I feel like you are, certain things are being illuminated to you, certain truths of life that are making you feel, and I don't think it's like just this moment, I think it's like the culmination. So maybe in that past year,